This is a Simple Act by Tyler Jackson. Background. In a big city like New York, thousands of strangers from many different backgrounds cross paths every day, but they rarely stop on the street to get to know each other. When people from very different places make the effort to connect, unexpected friendships can form. It was the first day of September in 1986, and the morning rain had given way to bright sunshine. A successful advertising executive made her way across 56th Street toward Brooklyn on the west side of Manhattan. A young boy, all of 11 years old and dressed in scruffy clothes, asked for some change for something to eat. Laura Schroff lowered her head and walked on. Manhattan was full of panhandlers, and she hardly even noticed them anymore. But something drew Laura back to the boy. She still doesn't know what it was, but she calls it an invisible thread. There's an old Chinese proverb that says an invisible thread connects two people who are destined to meet and influence each other. Laura believes she felt that thread. She turned back from the middle of the street and took the boy to lunch. The boy lived in a single room in a welfare hotel with his mother and numerous other relatives. It was only 2 blocks away from Laura's home, but it might as well have been a different planet. As they talked over their lunch, Laura learned about the boy's life. She herself had not had an easy childhood, but what she heard shocked her, and before she left, she told him to phone her if he was ever hungry. When she didn't hear from him after several days, she returned to the spot they had met, and there he was in the same clothes and too tight sneakers. They arranged to meet again the next Monday. Every Monday, Laura Schroff and Maurice Mazik had dinner together. Some Mondays they ate at Laura's home, and Maurice discovered a life he had only seen on television. Gradually, Laura became the young boy's first role model. She encouraged him to have dreams about his future and got involved in his education. Maurice's teacher was perhaps the only other person who believed in him, and she made Laura take a long, hard look at what she was doing. Was she helping Maurice just as a way of helping herself? Could she commit to being there for Maurice even when she didn't feel like it? What kind of damage might it cause Maurice if she were to abandon him after becoming so important to him? Laura thought it through and came to a decision. The two continued sharing dinner every Monday, and a close bond formed between them. Laura introduced Maurice to new places, new ideas, and new possibilities, and Maurice became almost like the child Laura had always wanted. One day, she offered to make lunch for Maurice and leave it with her doorman for him to pick up on his way to school. He asked her if she could put the lunch in a brown paper bag because the other kids would know that someone cared about him. Maurice had never left the city until Laura took him to visit her sister's family on Long Island. Her memory of their trip is a favorite one. She had expected Maurice to be amazed by the huge front lawn and even larger backyard, but what amazed him the most was the large dining room table where they all sat down and talked and ate together. He declared that he wanted a table like that when he had a family of his own. Only months earlier, Maurice had seriously doubted he would ever live to be an adult. Laura and Maurice's relationship lasted, and in 1997, a magazine published an article, less than 1 page long, about it. Laura's friend suggested that she write a book telling the whole story. It was 10 years before she began writing, and another 3 years before she found a co-writer and started seriously getting down to business. The result of their work, An Invisible Thread, reached #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list. Today, Maurice works in construction. He is the first person in his family to earn a paycheck. He has a family of his own, and his children are all very fond of their Aunt Lori. If you were to visit the family's apartment, you might notice there is no couch in the living room, but there is a huge dining room table. The writer Ernest Hemingway said, "The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them." Over the years, Laura discovered the truth of that statement. She feels that Maurice has given her one of the greatest gifts she has ever had. He repaid her trust by giving her life more meaning than her successes at work ever did. He taught her to be grateful for what she has and for the chance to share it.